Okay, ladies, I had a few issues that I wanted to discuss concerning our swaps. Now, I'm going to be working on a couple of tags here while I talk to you, just so I can keep my hands busy. For some reason, it almost seems like from the beginning of this new year, we have been having some issues when it comes to our swaps. And the main issues that we've been having are individuals signing up and then either not completing the swap or not communicating with their partners, and or what I would consider being inconsiderate toward their partners. And I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to be airing other people's situations, but to say the very least, I have become very frustrated. I waited a few days to even address this because, frankly, I was aggravated. And I would say in the past 10 days, I've had to deal with about, at the very least, 4 couples, which means 8 individuals that are involved in the swaps here in our group, have some really serious situations come up. Situations that I personally feel should and could have been prevented. Now, last year, I had very few issues that came up. And the few that did come up, I didn't really discuss them in the group because I didn't feel that I needed to, because it seemed pretty isolated. So I just handled the situation and we moved on. Recently, on 2 separate situations, people started airing their dirty laundry on my Facebook group. I will not tolerate that. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're a friend of mine. I don't care if you've been in the group forever. There is never an excuse to air those things in our group. You can private message somebody. You can email them. You can private message me and let me know what the situation is. But the second that you start bringing in the group into your situation and try to make it our situation, that's where I draw the line. There are a lot of people in our group that are involved in art to get away from drama, not to be drawn into other people's drama. And I don't know how, more blunt I can be than to say it, that I'm not going to tolerate it. I got to the point a few days ago where I was even questioning, why am I doing this? If it's just to have people have a platform to be mean to each other, I don't want to be a part of that. And that was my first reaction, and that was an emotional reaction. And I know that if I stand back and look at it, that's a ridiculous thing for for me to be thinking, because the majority of you play nice, to put it bluntly. You play nice. And so why should the few, make an impact on what I do and do not do in my group? So I got past that and thought, no, I'm not going to let anybody else dictate, what I do and what I don't do, based on how they make me feel about a situation. I know I'm kind of rambling because I didn't think about what I was going to say, but you'll get my point. I hope you get my point. Anyway, for instance, in our swaps, at any given swap, there might be, maybe about, sometimes up to 50 people, sometimes more than 50 people signing up for the swap. And I think that's wonderful, because I see other groups that, maybe 10 people sign up. So I know the individuals in our group really enjoy the swaps that we do. I don't question that for a second. So I'm not going to let, some individuals' misunderstandings with each other influence, whether we do the swaps or not. So that's off the table. That's not an option for me. I enjoy hosting them, and I know the majority of you enjoy signing up and fulfilling your obligations, and I really appreciate that. So basically what I'm saying is that if you have a situation that comes up and you can't complete a swap, please let me know. Let me know right away. Life happens. I get that. I've been in situations where I couldn't complete something in the past, and through no fault of my own. And I made sure my partner knew. Okay, so that's just the kind thing to do. So that's number one. And let me know. I'm the host of the swap, and I can make arrangements. There's always somebody there that, was late and didn't realize the swap was already closed, or they're new in the group. Lots of different reasons why people were not able to sign up. And so I'd be able to fill up, any swap really fast. Trust me, there's always people that want to play. Okay, so that's the first thing. Let me know. And I will let your partner know that they have a new partner. And, end of story. And hopefully next time your circumstances will allow you to, to finish the swap. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you have an issue with your partner and you feel that the communication between you and your partner has become, let's just say it's become tense, it isn't as amicable as you would hope, drop it. Private message me and let me know that there's a situation. Let me know if you want to continue with the swap, you don't want to continue with the swap, whatever you want to do. I can work with that. I can accommodate that, again, very easily. I don't have an issue with finding new partners for anybody. What I do have an issue with is if two of you start getting nasty with each other. Again, that is not the purpose of this group. This is not the purpose of the swaps. And I wouldn't bring this up if it was an isolated incident, But as I mentioned, in the past, beginning this new year, I have had way too many situations come up that I did not like, that I did not think were very pretty at all, and not becoming to a group of ladies that for the most part are extremely encouraging to one another bend over backwards to help each other, you know, comment on their posts to try and make them feel better about their art. It's hard to put your art out there. It's you know, a lot of people, it really takes a lot for them to share their work, because for the most part, most of us aren't surrounded by people that even understand what we're doing, let alone like what we're doing. So when we get with a group of ladies that do the same thing we do, you know, it's really, it's just so encouraging. And that's what we want to be. We want to be encouraging. We don't want to be starting these tit for tat type of conversations. I don't want it in my group. I don't know if other groups allow it. I don't know. All I know is that I'm not going to put up with it. And the only way I cannot put up with it is I have to delete the post. You know, fortunately there are people in the group that report posts to me, because, you know, I can't read everything. You know, I'd be on Facebook all day long. I can't do that. You know, I have a job, I have a life, I have a studio, I have a husband, I have animals. I don't live on Facebook. I'm sorry. And so there might be something I missed. So I really appreciate it when it's something serious enough for you to bring it to my attention. I appreciate that a lot. And so then I try to take care of it. It's really difficult when you get two stories that are completely opposite of each other. They don't even resemble the same story. And then I'm left having to make a decision of basically, who do I believe? Because sometimes it's so serious, I don't want the person in the group anymore. And in the past month, I've had to remove a couple of people. And I don't like doing that. I really don't. But I feel sometimes that that's the only way that I can protect the other members, is by removing somebody. And I have done that in the past couple of weeks. And like I say, I don't like doing that. But I'm not shy about doing it, because I feel like I have an obligation. If I have a group, I have an obligation to make sure that it continues to run smoothly. So like I say, I don't have a problem doing that. I don't like it, but trust me, I'll do it. So, you know, be warned that if you think you're coming into this group to wreak your personal havoc on us, I'm not going to have it. I'm not shy about removing you. Okay, so again, this does not apply, this doesn't even apply like 99% of you, but it may affect you indirectly by, you know, maybe you getting that person as a partner, or maybe you reading something that they post, and so it's going to affect you that way. And so that's why I'm letting you know that I know what's going on. I'm trying to be on top of it, and I'm trying to protect you, and I'm not going to tolerate it. That's the first thing. So that's kind of like what's been going on behind the scenes with several and I say several, it's been like 6 or 8 people, and I think there's something in the water. You know, when the new year started, it was like, ooh, they put something in the water, and you know, people have been drinking it and they're getting a little goofy. Okay, so that's that. Okay, second thing, but still having to do with the swaps, is when people join the group, I put a link when we welcome them. I give them a link and I say before you join any swaps, make sure you watch this video. Then when I put the swaps up, I sometimes, or almost always, will link a video that explains the swap, because in the past I would put written instructions and inevitably I would get all kinds of questions, you know, what about this, what about that, because I guess I didn't make it clear enough, and so I'd get all these questions, and that takes a lot of my time to answer everybody's question, even though I felt I had already answered the question. So then I thought it'd be kind of smart, hey, well, why don't I just do a video, and that way they can see, you know, what the swap is about, and that would solve the problem. Well, either my videos don't explain it well enough, or people don't watch the video, or they watch part of the video and then they still have the same questions anyway. I try to address those issues. I've even made new videos trying to highlight whatever the questions have been from people, thinking, okay, well, maybe I didn't make that clear, so I'll make another video, and another, and another. Okay, so as far as that's concerned, I'm not really sure what else I can do. I think I'm making myself clear, but there's something lost in the translation somewhere, because I still get asked. I'm assuming it's because they didn't watch the video, but if they watched the video and they're still asking the questions, then obviously, you know, I'm doing something wrong, and I'm not quite sure what that is. All right, so when somebody asks a question and I know the information is in the files, I direct people to the files, because again, I don't have the time to repeat myself over. Well, I have the time maybe, but I don't want to. I don't want to repeat myself if I've already said it in written form, 2 or 3 videos. You know, I've got the files. You know, I don't feel I need to be repeating myself. If you think that's unreasonable on my part, you know, well, I'm sorry, but I didn't form this group for it, you know, for me to cater to every single person in every single situation. That's why I do the videos, because I feel that the videos answer most of the questions. And so I'll continue to refer to the video if people have questions. All right. Another thing about the, especially I would say the flow journals. People seem to get really confused about the flow journals and how to do it, and you know, and to me, you know, maybe it's just me, but to me it seems like it's pretty clear cut, my explanation. But then again, you know, if I'm getting asked the same questions, maybe I'm not being clear. Now, I think one of the reasons some might be, you know, confused is that I started the Flowish journals probably about, maybe 2.5 years ago. I haven't changed in 2.5 years. I have not changed the format of what the Flowish journals are. They started off one way and they're still that way. But I think where the confusion comes in is that other individuals have created groups and they do their flow journal swaps. There's people on YouTube that make them, and do their flowish journals. They call them flowish journals. Got people that on Etsy, they're making what they call flowish journals, and they're selling them. And so if you start watching their videos, or members of the other group, or see what they're selling on Etsy, I can see how you might get confused, because they all do it their way. They all do it different. But they aren't the ones hosting the swap, and they aren't the ones whose video you need to model your flowish journal after. Ours are very straightforward. They are a journal that is meant to be easily taken apart, which means your binding is just very simple, just like the video I already made. The amount of pages are very clear, how many sheets you put together and you fold, what needs to be in the journal. It's all very basic. It shouldn't be confusing at all. But for some reason, it's still confusing. So I have to ask myself, okay, is it my explanation, or are people just making it, you know, more confusing than it needs to be? I don't have the answer for that. All I know is that I can't explain it any more than I already have. You know, I see people referring individuals to different people. You know, watch their video, watch this video, watch someone else do this. Well, that's fine and dandy, except they're not hosting the swap. And how they make the journal may not be the way we do it here in the group. So then you get frustrated because maybe you send something out or you get something in return and it doesn't resemble the video you watched. Well, hello, you watched the wrong video. You're supposed to watch mine, and that is how it's supposed to look. Now, if you want to add to your flowish journal, over and beyond, you know, what the basic is, that's up to you. But then the problem happens, and I've seen this over and over, when it comes to basically anything in the craft world. You start off with one little thing, and it morphs. That's just natural. That's called creativity. It starts off one way, and before you know it, it looks like something else. And that's good. That's showing your creativity. But when, like for instance, let's just say, let me use this as an example. I say, send out one card. And you don't have to, let's say we're having a swap for a card, right? And I say, this is all you have to send. All right, great. They make their card and they send it. Okay, then the next person say, oh, I'm going to send a card and I'm going to send them a little piece of fabric. So now that gets sent off, and the other person only gets a card and doesn't get the fabric. So now they're thinking, well, wow, you know, I went through all the trouble and made the card and I sent fabric and all I got was a card. Well, that's all you were supposed to get. This is a bonus. But what ends up happening is that now we think we're supposed to get this. And then we get all critical if we only get a card. And I think that's what's happening with the flowish journals. Is there is the basic journal that's required. And all of you ladies have gotten creative. And please, continue being creative. I love seeing what you guys do with it. But you that are receiving journals that don't look like the other ones that have been, you know, putting in more creativity of, you know, or inspiration that they're putting into their flowish journals, don't make the mistake of thinking that everyone you swap with is going to give you a journal that looks like that, because the requirement isn't what these creative ladies are sending you. They're going over and beyond, which is great. But you as the recipient, it's almost like, you know, we might get spoiled. Oh, well, you know, they didn't just send me the card, but they sent me, you know, some fabric, and they sent me 2 cards, and they sent me a glue stick. And then the next person you swap with gives you the card. And you're going, wow, all I got was a card. That's all you were supposed to get. Everything else is extra. So we really have to watch our attitude about what we get in the swaps. Not everybody has the same supplies that they can be incorporating into the journals. So one person might have a whole bunch. Let's say they've been crafting for 10 years. They have all kinds of stuff to go through and rummage through and share with you. But then you might have a person who's only been doing it for a year, or maybe 6 months, or maybe they just started. And so what they give you still might be their precious stuff. It may be their favorite stuff, but it may not be what maybe you expected because they haven't been hoarding like you have for 10 years. So, it's all relative. So I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm just rambling. I know I'm kind of ranting because I'm still really frustrated and I'm not really sure, what to do to make it resonate with you guys. Again, it's just only with a few of you, but still a few of you can really have an impact on a person that maybe is just starting. And I don't want our group to start having the reputation that people are critical or judgmental, or are judging you by the content of your swaps when you are already doing what's required of the swap. You just don't have the extra stuff. All right. So I'm not looking for any answers from you guys because, I know that this is my responsibility and I have to handle it, the best way that I know how. And I just want you to know, if you hear, chitter chatter going around, that I'm aware of it. I'm trying to handle it. I have handled some. Some are already history. They're gone. A couple have left on their own out of their frustration, and I feel, I feel sad about that. That people in our group have felt so frustrated that they've had to leave, and I don't like that to be part of our group. I'm just being honest with you, what's going on. And then I'm on top of it. I don't want you to think that things are going on and I'm not, paying attention to what's happening. I'm really trying to stay on top of it as much as I can. So I'm just asking for your patience. I'm asking for you to be patient with one another. I'm asking you to be kind to one another. And to make this a place where people want to come and share their art and be vulnerable with each other. Because that's what it is. When we share our art, we're being vulnerable. And I don't want to have the reputation that you can't do that here. That's not the kind of group I want to have. So anyway, thank you for letting me vent. I'm not sure if I'm going to allow comments under this video or not, because I'm afraid that if I allow comments, it's going to start another round of some kind of drama. and I'm not in the mood for that right now, as you can probably tell. So more than likely I'll probably not allow comments. If you have any comment about what I've said, any opinion, you're more than welcome to private message me, but I don't want it to be part of some kind of banter in the group, because people always want to take sides, and then that's when the drama starts. So if you agree with me or disagree with me, you're more than welcome to share that with me, but in private, because I'm trying to do what I can do to avoid the drama. Okay, I don't know if any of this is going to make any sense, because I think I kind of sort of rambled, but I think you get the gist of it. Just letting you know I'm on top of things. Not quite sure what I'm going to do about it, but I am on top of things. Okay, thank you for letting me ramble a bit. And like I say, it's very, very few people that cause the drama, but I know it affects all of you, and that's why I bring it up, because I don't want you to think that I don't care about you and that I'm not trying to be, you know, vigilant and take care of the group and keep it a safe place. All right, I guess that's all I have to say for now. And be nice to each other. Be nice to me. and we'll get through this. I promise we'll get through it, and it won't even be an issue real soon, hopefully. Alrighty. Thank you for listening, ladies, and I will talk to you soon.